There was a man who spent his entire life running, but not from people, not from problems. He was running from his reflection. Because every time he looked into a mirror, it wasn't just a face staring back. It was a witness, a memory keeper, a silent archive of every version of himself he tried to bury. And it terrified him. Most people think monsters live under the bed. He knew better. His monster lived behind his eyes. Every regret, every lie he told himself, every night he pretended to be fine, it gathered there, in the reflection. So he ran, into cities full of noise, into relationships that felt like hiding places, into work that made him too tired to think. Because when you're constantly moving, you don't have to face the one person you can't lie to, yourself. But there's a brutal fact most people never admit. You can outrun 1,000 people, 100 failures, but your reflection will always wait for you. And the longer you avoid it, the darker it gets. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." The man thought he was chasing freedom, but in reality, he was a prisoner of everything he refused to confront. And isn't that most of us? We run, we distract, we blame timing, luck, circumstances. Because the hardest thing you'll ever do in this life is look yourself in the eye and admit, I built these walls around myself. The silent weight pressing on your chest, the strange restlessness. No screen, no party, no lover can cure. It's not a flaw in your wiring. It's your reflection knocking, not to shame you, but to remind you of everything you could be if you stopped running. I believe we all have two choices. Spend our lives sprinting through distractions, or pause long enough to ask, what am I really afraid to see in myself? Seneca once wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." The man in the story? One day he finally stopped, stared straight into the glass. And you know what he found? Not a monster, not a failure, but a tired, scared, beautiful soul who was just waiting to be forgiven. Maybe that's all any of us need. Not a new city, not a distraction, not another dopamine hit, just the courage to face the version of ourselves we've been avoiding. And when you finally do, you'll realize you were never running from a reflection. You were running from a conversation that could have set you free. If this feels like it was meant for you, it probably was. This isn't just a channel. It's a shelter for minds that question, ache, and refuse to shrink into the ordinary. For the ones too stubborn to accept shallow lives. So what are you running from? And when will you stop? If you saw even a glimpse of yourself in this story, there's something else you've been carrying too. A quiet emptiness no one talks about, even when life looks perfect. I spoke about it in another video. Click it now. It might be the conversation your soul's been waiting for. Like, share, and subscribe. And let's build a community for those brave enough to face the mirror.